Underwater, starring Kristen Stewart, Vincent Cassel, and TJ Miller. It's an action horror film that begins on a drilling rig located at the bottom of the ocean in the Mariana Trench. At the very beginning of the story, something goes horribly wrong, and most of the station gets compromised and in danger of imminent destruction. The few remaining survivors team up and decide on a risky plan. They want to suit up and move between the various parts of the installation in hopes of eventually reaching one with escape pods that are still operational. They also have to move fast because the rig is literally falling apart and they're in danger of being crushed underneath it, not to mention the limited oxygen supply. But as soon as they actually get out into the water and begin to move, it turns out that there is something in the water with them, something equal parts mysterious and dangerous. So, as that plot description may suggest, this is pretty much a B movie, even as a concept. It's a straightforward story that's designed to be fun and engaging and not necessarily deep or thought provoking. Also, as is typical for a movie like this, the whole foundation of the plot is based on absolute nonsense. The pseudo-scientific explanations for stuff, the huge fucking drills that they show, the idea of even having a station so deep and drilling the way they do. It's kind of outrageous if you have the slightest idea of how those things look like in real life. On the other hand, once you accept those incoherent idiocies, the movie has some cool elements to it. The production design is great. I love the suits especially. Kristen Stewart and Vincent Cassel are quite enjoyable and believable as characters. The monster design is fucking amazing, and there are scenes which are properly scary and gripping. And the entire final act is insanely cool and made me go, wow, I did not expect that from this film. And I think it would maybe elevate the movie to being actually decent for me, if not for one major problem. And that problem is this. When you construct your plot the way Underwater does, you need to keep me, or the audience, invested in the characters. They have to be likable individually and they have interesting group dynamics so that I care about what happens to them. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they need to be deep and complex characters. They can very well remain simple and archetypical, but just give me something to hold on to. But Underwater doesn't do that. This aspect of the story is very underdeveloped, and so as a result, for the majority of the runtime, I wasn't really bothered by the dangers that the crew was facing. Someone might die? Oh, whatever. I don't really know anything about this person. Why should I care? And worst of all, this could all have been averted in a very simple way. Just have a sequence at the beginning of the film, a 10-minute sequence where we meet the characters before it all goes to shit. They're all introduced, maybe we have some funny banter between them, we get a sense of who they are, how they work as a team, especially as most similar movies do exactly that, so it's not like it's a novel idea. But Underwater goes the opposite way, and it starts off with a bang. Pretty much the first scene of the film, the catastrophe begins to happen, and we pick up with the characters when it's already gone to shit. And so because of the seriousness of the situation and, the time limit set by the circumstances, we don't really have any time to spend with them, no room to breathe. And as it is, with that major element lacking from the film, I honestly cannot judge it as anything more than average. There are some interesting things in it, the last sequence especially, but as a whole, I think it will be totally forgettable.